This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I'm here with Krystina Roman of Rosewood in Niagara. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Jamie?
I'm fantastic. We're here at the Dock Ellis on Dundas West in Toronto, and we're going to be speaking about tasting honey, something I know nothing about apparently. Now I've gone through my academic kind of wine tasting, done chocolate tasting, did some coffee tasting. That didn't work out too well for me. How does one go about tasting honey?
So honey is produced by bees, clearly. So honey there's different grades of honey. So today I brought some samples of the honey. You can tell the color is already very different. What you want to look at, just similar to wine tasting, is color right away. The color will tell you the source of the pollen and the nectar. So you look at this one, you can't really tell, I'm sure, but you can see it's a little bit lighter than this one right here. So similar to wine tasting, you look at the color. Again, this is going to tell me right away that honey is going to be quite light, floral, and more so based off of clover. Versus something like this is probably the second harvest. Beekeepers, we at Rosewood and a lot of beekeepers, we harvest 2 to 3 times a year. For us, we do a summer harvest and then a fall harvest. So right away we know that this could be potentially a summer harvest. Or you could tell you about the year. It could have been a lighter year, a lot of rain, less pollen. Versus this is going to tell me right away it's probably a harvest honey, or fall harvest honey, or it's been sourced from a different goldenrod. Goldenrod tends to be a little bit golder, and then, if that's a word, and then, or also the dryness of the year. So right away we're looking at sight. Sight is so important, just like in wine. So we're gonna look at the honey, the pollen source, also looking for viscosity, looking at how quickly it moves. And you can tell right here, it's moving at a pretty good pace. So as a result, again, that's gonna give me an indication of how it tastes. It's gonna be a little bit thick, especially since this is not too runny. And it's gonna be delicious and really good. Okay. So the first thing is really looking at sight.
Now I have a question for you. Quite often when you see honey, artisanal honey and the like, and they will tell you that it's from a very, like a clover honey or a wildflower honey or a buckwheat honey. How do you force bees to go into that particular area? Like, do you have something akin to a sheepdog that basically forces the bees to only actually go and pollinate these particular plants?
Unfortunately not.
So how is that just marketing, or is there actual truth in it?
Think of it's in wine. Rosewood is a winery as well, so I'm going to go to the wine. You know when you smell a wine, for example, Pinot Noir, you really get mostly notes or a lot of notes of cherry. It's usually the top note that you're tasting in the honey.
Right,
So essentially, bees fly up to 5 miles from their home. Now, one hive can have almost 100,000 bees. We have 350 hives. Do the math, it's a lot of bees. So yes, we cannot have a sheep herder or any kind of a wall to prevent them from going anywhere.
Right.
They can literally, within a 5-mile radius from their home, they can go anywhere and pollinate everything they want. For example, one bee, if we told her to pollinate, to make this much honey, guess how many flowers she would have to visit?
No idea.
1 million.
1 million, that's a lot of work.
1 million, there's one bee and 1 million flowers to do this much honey. So that's why we at Rosewood, we save wildflower. We never really know where they're going. Unfortunately, putting GPSs on them would be far too expensive nor inefficient. Also, bees die every approximately 6 to 10 weeks. So there's a little bit of a life cycle there. So as a result, typically when you see buckwheat honey or lavender honey or any of those types of honey, or orange blossom honey is really popular down especially in the US, that's what it tastes. Those are the top notes that you're tasting right off the bat of the honey. So when you smell the honey and you taste it, you're tasting a little hint of that lavender. And we actually have lavender at Rosewood, and you go there in the summertime in July and June, and you see hundreds of bees just going from rod to rod to rod. It's beautiful.
When you're tasting honey, when we taste wine, we quite often work through flavor wheels, aroma wheels and the like. What kind of aromatics, what kind of flavors are you looking for within honeys and within the different classes of honey, I suppose?
So there's different grades of honey, actually. So it's usually based on a color scale first. That's why we started with sight. So there's white, golden, and dark. Those are the major 3 grades of honey. When you're looking for the aromatics, it's more so floral, just because the pollen and the nectar does come from a lot of flowers. So as a result, it really is floral. A little bit sometimes, because the hive is made out of wood. Sometimes you might get a little bit of that wood sense to it. Sometimes you
And
smell
that comes from the hive?
Yeah, it comes from the hive because typically honey is stored in an inner container. So there's no other aging. It's not like wine where we age it or mead where we age it in a barrel. It really comes from the hive itself, more so the pollen source. So it's really the pollen source. And that's what you're looking for. The aromatics is more so, you can't go through as much as in wine, but you go more in flowers and types of flowers. And that's where we go lavender, we go russet sage, we do clover, mint, blueberry, and different kinds of leaves. It's really more herbal and more floral when you're thinking of aromatics with the honey. And also a little bit of that wood. Sometimes you get that from the hive as well.
Now, most people would be familiar with having honey on their toast and the like, but honey can be enjoyed in many different ways.
Absolutely.
And I know a few of them. Would you mind explaining some of those wonderful ways to our Good Food Revolution viewers?
Well, we're so honored. I mean, we work with some great chefs here in Toronto and all over Ontario, actually. We have our honeycomb, which you can see a lot on cheese plates, a lot on charcuterie platters. But actually, we're here at the Doc Ellis, and Chef Trish Gill, she makes this lovely southern fried chicken sandwich for us. She's been doing it at other restaurants as well, and love that sandwich. So you can drizzle it on top of food, you can make it in sauces, you can make it in dressings. I mean, it's really endless. Honey goes in nearly everything. I don't think there's a food it doesn't go on. My favorite is drizzling on cheese, blue cheese especially. But there's no, I think I've actually sat there and thought, you can almost use it in everything, from vegetables all the way through to dessert. You can even use it in meats, for example, honey garlic sauces and barbecue sauces. You can use it in butter. So today, Chef Trish is gonna, hopefully we're gonna sample some.
Trish Gill,
Yes.
chef at the Doc Ellis on Dundas, West Toronto. We have two dishes that involve the Rosewood honey. Please tell us a bit about these two dishes.
Sure. First, we have some hush puppies with some honeyed brown butter. It's basically fried cornbread with some shallot, some jalapeno to have some spice, and then some richness from the butter, and then obviously the beautiful rosewood honey. I also have a fried chicken sandwich.
Oh.
Gorgeous.
Well, KFC across the street must be in a lot of trouble right now, yeah.
Yes, loads of trouble. We have a spicy, savory coleslaw underneath the fried chicken, and then top that off with some of the honey as well to add some sweetness and to make the dish better than it was before.
And both of these dishes are on the menu right now?
The hush puppies are on the menu. The fried chicken sandwich will be making its glorious return March 1st with the rosewood honey on it.
Fantastic. We look forward to trying these. Thank you very much, Trish.
Thank you.
Krystina Roman from Rosewood Estates. Thank you very much for joining us at Good Food Revolution today.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed your honey and always enjoy your company.
Thank you.